Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Stormworks. We are back working on our frigate once again. And in this episode, we're going to take it a little slower. So, a little change of pace in this one. We're not going to do too much speeding up of the footage, but this video is also probably going to be a little bit less work getting done, obviously. But I'm doing that on purpose, and that is because in the next episode, we're going to start working on the hangar. I didn't want to split that up. So we are going to do this, which is also a pretty good chunk of work, but essentially what we're going to do is cut the ship in half. So let's just do it. So there it is. I really thought that this needed to just kind of be longer. So that's kind of what we're going for here is I'm going to extend this heli deck back here by at least a couple meters. And then we're going to obviously work on getting everything attached back up correctly and looking good and all that kind of stuff. But I think this will overall be a lot better for the ship. You guys will be able to land much larger helicopters on the ship, as well as the lower deck there. There will be a lot more room for equipment. And, it will also just look a lot better in my mind. You can tell right now the ship was a little stubby. And it's kind of hard to get a frame of reference inside the workbench, but I think that, what is that, like 2 meters? That extra 2 meters that we added on top of things is going to be really, really good for the ship. So probably should have done this earlier on. You guys can see we got quite the mess to clean up on the inside, but it shouldn't be too bad. So there's really nothing to it but to do it. So I guess let's just get our selection tool out, and I'm just kind of looking around trying to explore kind of what to do and what's the best part of this for me to grab. So I think we're just going to bring it in a couple blocks, and we'll just kind of bring everything back. That's pretty much everything forward of this wall. We're just going to bring back, and then we'll extend it behind that wall. I think that'll be the easiest way to go about that, and we shouldn't really have to redo too much of the plumbing. Now, it is going to make a lot more room down there where the generators and the drive shaft are, so we'll have to come back to that and kind of fill that up, redo it later, do some detailing, all that kind of good stuff, but that's not a problem. That shouldn't be too hard to do, so like I said, let's just, work on trying to get all of this back over to the back of the engine where it belongs, and looks like we need to go one more block, and that should be good. So It won't be too much manually rebuilding this, just because the selection editor is great. We will have to redo some of it just because it's not completely symmetrical left or right, but that is okay. We can get the majority of this done with probably, if I had to guess, what we're on, copy and paste number 3, probably the 5 copy and paste. We could pretty much get most of this filled out correctly, and it looks like I missed our manifolds there, so let me just re-grab that. It'll be a lot easier in the long run, and we'll just move these forward. Like I said, we're just going to kind of keep everything where it was, and we're really just looking to extend the ship 2 meters. I'm not trying to make any more room on the inside or anything like that. We don't need it. I think the engine room's plenty big enough. So this will, ultimately just give you guys a lot more space on the landing platform, which is pretty important, especially in this game. You guys are probably going to try to land helicopters on it or use it for missions, and that means, having a large, nice helipad to land on is going to be much, much, much nicer. So I do think that this was a worthwhile kind of change to the ship. And I know in the last episode we talked a lot about dimensions and proportions and that kind of thing. This kind of plays into it. So, if you're watching these back to back, this is me cutting things up because I didn't like the dimensions. And I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you guys to do the same if you feel the same about the vehicle you're building. The only way to kind of make it look better is with some time and some patience, and so I think that being patient is going to be your best friend. But, like I said, we're just filling in these holes right here, and again, it shouldn't be too bad. We've already got most of this pretty much patched up together, which kind of pretty cool, because really this wasn't a super simple shape back here, and we have half the engine room done, and really, it was a lot less work than I thought it was. Maybe a little scary to cut your ship in half, but, that's what we got saves and backups for. So if you guys are kind of, thinking maybe I should make it a little longer or taller or wider or something like that, I say get in there with the selection tool and get after it. But enough of that. I am just ranting. This is kind of the room back here that I was talking about that we'll have to come back and decorate. So this is where the drive shafts, the generators, that kind of thing. We do have plenty of space back here, so I will add some sort of access hatch, that kind of thing. But we're not going to be worried about that for now. We'll come back to that much later down the road. It's a very unimportant part of the ship. I do like to fill out all of those spaces, try to detail them, make them fun, make them interesting for you guys, but right now it is not a priority. So we're not going to get to that today. This episode is just about kind of extending our ship, making it look better, guys. Enough of that. I know I've kind of been re-saying the same thing over and over. If you guys haven't seen, go check out my most recent video. We just released a new build, and that'll be a much quicker one. So that one is going to be a Dakar race truck. If you haven't seen what that is, go look it up. They're really cool. Basically, they are really heavily modified production, like aggro trucks or military trucks that they go race across the desert. And it's kind of comical saying heavily modified because, if I'm being honest, like maybe 1% of the stock truck is still part of it, like the grill. you might have the grill and the windshield still, but the rest of it has all been changed. They're super cool. They're massive, and they go really, really fast. So I think that would be a really fun build for Stormworks. And also shout out Zappafish in our Discord, and our Discord. If you haven't seen our Discord, go check it out. But he actually had a really, really great suggestion. He was like, you should turn this into a moon rover. And I think that's super, super cool. So we might do that. We might not. I don't know yet. Still on the fence a little bit. It's a little annoying getting to space in Stormworks. I really wish they just kind of gave us a workbench up there. And I know there's some mods you can get for that. Shout out you, Senti. But I know I'm doing all the shout outs in this episode, so I apologize. But yeah, that is something that we might play around with. And if you guys are into race cars, race trucks, Baja, Dakar, that kind of thing, go check it out. It's a fun little series. Should only be probably, if I had to guess, at most 5 episodes. So we're not going to get too crazy into it. In the first episode, we really just did the suspension. It's the solid axle truck. So go check that out. Enough of that. I'll quit ranting. We are finally back into this back room. I don't know what you really want to call it. We'll call it like a chain room or a mooring deck, or I don't know. But this room's got to get filled out, and we've got to fix this hole quick before I spawn it in and forget it's there, and then the ship's sinking, and I don't know why. So let's make sure we get that patched in, and we'll fill out the wall underneath it too. But then we'll move out to that outside back room and start doing a lot more decoration up there. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. We're not doing anything super complex in today's episode. I guess we can talk about some other things while we're at it. So I did mention a few episodes back, I do kind of have some ideas for a build challenge. So I did mention the next large build that we're going to do is going to be a flying aircraft carrier. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. It'll be cool, super, super fun one. But we're definitely going to do a build challenge for that, guys. I am super excited for that build challenge, actually. But that's a little out. So I don't know if you all would be interested in maybe doing like a build challenge with the Dakar trucks and building your own race car and kind of doing that thing. But yeah, if that's something you're interested in, definitely leave a message down below. We do have some time in between, when the next build challenge will start and right now. It's definitely enough time to fit a build challenge in. So if you guys want to do something like that, just let me know down below and maybe I'll try to set it up. But for the meantime, right now, I've kind of been busy in the background with the helmet HUD that I was working on. The helmet HUD's very, very close to done. I got to get a couple videos of that, some tutorials, that kind of thing. But I've been working on the workshop page. It is 99% done right now. The HUD is, not the workshop page. Really, the only thing I need to do to the HUD is kind of do a little bit of troubleshooting. I added a switch to the funnel for planes yesterday. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's just going to sound like gibberish, but I added a switch to the funnel. So the gun funnel on the plane HUD will now turn on after you click the trigger. It'll stay on for 10 seconds and then it'll turn off. So I just threw a capacitor onto it. But I think that's a lot better so you don't just have a gun funnel in your face when you're not in combat. So that was really the last big change I made to it. We got our 3D waypoint in there. A lot of other really cool features. You guys will see. I'll make videos on it for sure. But just kind of know that, yeah, I've been busy in the background trying to get that all wrapped up and ready for the workshop. I want to get that on the workshop, preferably before the Dakar Dakar truck, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. The Dakar truck is also another thing that I'm going to have to work on getting it on the workshop. I will say it is right. It is done right now. So if I don't have it up in, a few weeks, call me a slacker, but it is done. Obviously, you guys have more. There's more to the videos and whatnot, but I always try to stay ahead. If you guys are not new to the channel, you know that. So it is done. I just the workshop pages kind of take a long time. I try to do a really good job with them. I have a slight case of OCD as well, so I maybe worry about some things in there that I probably shouldn't, but it's okay. But yeah, so you guys will see all that good stuff when I get those on the workshop. I'll make announcements. If not, or if you guys miss it, or if you want to make sure you don't miss it, click the link below to our Discord. There will be announcements in there as well. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. I will say I've been kind of a busy little bee lately, so I might switch the channel over to 2 videos a week just for the time being, and then transition back to 3 when I have a little bit more free time. But I think, I don't know if it's just a hump of me seeming like I'm busy or not. Obviously, the whole last computer going nuclear didn't help anything, but this one's all good and set up and running fine now, so we're not really any point of stress anymore. It's more kind of like personal reasons I'm busy, and just kind of life. It is what it is. Video games aren't life. Make sure you guys go outside and touch grass. I try to do it at least once a day, but yeah, so the Frigate is coming along. It'll be a long series, but I might, for the next few weeks, you might see 2 videos a week instead of 3. I'm still not sure about that. So yeah, that's kind of the update with what's going on. I know, kind of ignoring a lot of the stuff going on in the background, but it looks like we got a lot of stuff in the background where it needs to be. So I'm just, still kind of making my rounds, cleaning stuff up. I want to make sure everything is correct symmetrically. And not because I'm using the symmetry tool, because I don't use the symmetry tool a lot. So there's probably parts of this that aren't symmetrical, even though you can't really tell. And I need to make sure that those are all good. So, but anyways, like I said earlier in the episode, so we'll be doing the hangar next episode. I've got some fun stuff planned for that. We, we're not going to go too crazy. It's just a simple hangar. I'm not going to build a specific helicopter for this boat, guys. So before you ask, because I know someone will ask, no, I'm not building a specific vehicle for it. And no, I'm not going to build a specific vehicle to load ammo onto this either. It's a building game. If you guys want that, you can build it. So I'm not interested in building those things. Feel free to. I do have helicopters I've made in the past that will work with this thing. So I'm not interested in redoing projects I've already done. But again, you guys are more than welcome to. A lot of the, I know obviously the challenge for the carrier was microplanes, but there was some rather small helicopters that we got into the collection too. A lot of those helicopters will probably work if you do need a smaller creation. I also have one called the WA-12 Little Hellion, and that is on the workshop too. So you can check that out. That thing is tiny. That thing is 5 blocks wide, not counting the rotors, just on the fuselage. So you can move that helicopter by walking into it and dragging it with a handle. So it's a very small helicopter. I love it. It's a little wonky to fly just because it's so small, but can't really avoid that in Stormworks unless you get really, really crazy with the modding and that kind of stuff. And I don't care. It's a cheap little career vehicle for search and destroy. It's intentionally as small and as simple as possible so you can put it on big ships and it won't really add too much lag. But yeah, go check that out. Obviously, this ship is still a ways out from the workshop, but that's just some options that you guys have when this is out on the workshop. So keep that in mind. I'm sure a lot of you have your own helicopters too. And, another thing too, I don't really say this too often, but if you guys have any like cool action shots of you using it, I love seeing that kind of stuff. So go ahead and post it in the Discord. Like I love seeing that stuff. A lot of the reason that I even build in Stormworks is so you all have stuff to play with. I know a lot of people don't have the wherewithal to build the same ship like I do for 4 months at a time. So I enjoy doing that. So I'm more than happy to do it for you. But yeah, so I know I don't really bring that up a lot, but if you got any really cool or funny screenshots, you're more than welcome to share them. I like checking them out. In my free time a lot, I scroll through the vehicle showcase in my own Discord and in the official Discord, think it's a great place to kind of get some good inspiration, and I don't know, it's just kind of cool to see what other people are coming up, and it inspires me to build some more cool stuff myself. So definitely encourage that. But anyways, this is just about the last piece of the puzzle to us extending the ship. We have this little section in the hull back here that tapers towards the propellers, so I just wanted to move that forward. We didn't get that moved forward, and that's okay. You probably really wouldn't have noticed, but I would, and this ultimately it will look better this way. So let's just go ahead. We'll follow suit with the old weight block pattern, and we'll get this painted up. And that should be just about all we really do in this episode, guys. So I know this one was a little bit slower. I did mention that. But let me know how you guys like it. If you like the slower form videos. We didn't do any time lapse in this one. So this was all real time, me building. And yeah, just kind of, I guess, let me know what you think of that. And if you guys like it, we'll try to do it more in the future. Maybe not every episode, just because, well, you know, you guys don't need a 70-part Frigate series, and I'm sure you would rather have it on the workshop sooner than later. I don't post things until they're pretty much done on YouTube. So yeah, just I guess let me know. And for now, that's pretty much all the building we got in this episode. So I'll just walk around, and you guys can see this deck back here is way bigger, and we finally got those windows on the side, which I wanted, and they don't look bad. So I think extending that deck was definitely a good move. And you know, I'm curious to see what you guys think. But I want to go see this thing in the water. We also should test the engine. So let me just get all of that turned on, and we'll come back down here, get the AC running. Why not? It's there, and you can hear those engines are finally starting to crank over, and everything seems to be working. So we will see if I missed any of the actual pipes or logic blocks in a bit, I guess. But as you guys can see, it pretty much all looks the same, which is good. The only thing that really changed was how long that deck on the back was, and the hangar. Or not the hangar, but the landing space of the hangar. So yeah, I think this was a great addition. I know, again, slow video, but if you guys made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Helps the channel out tremendously. If you guys like this series, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Come back for more. I'll catch you in the next one, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.